memories. I wish I could remember it all, because then I could tell you about it. I told you what I do remember about the plague, the burning. The one thing I didn't tell you about was my wife. I was married. I'm ashamed to tell you I don't remember her name. I think I lost that on a genetic rescan. I tried to hold on to the name, but it slipped away. She was beautiful, I know that much. She had long hair, laughing eyes. I see her sometimes in my dreams when I'm unlucky, because I wake up and she's gone. When the plagues hit, there's paranoia everywhere. People didn't know what the plague was. They knew it wasn't a fallout. The more sensitive people, well, they died first. Old warhawks like me, well, we stuck around for a while. Our genetically sick sense of humor, I guess. But she died. So many other people died. Hysteria was mounting. Nobody knew what was causing it. You've never seen hysteria until you see people afraid of bioweapons and plague. They kill their own children. Some people did. Everything I had was destroyed. We didn't know what the plague could land on, so if someone had plague, sometimes they'd burn the whole house. These strange, thug-like groups trying to keep their neighborhoods pure. At that time, I was scared too. I didn't know what was going on, so I had these burn pits set up. This is long before the burn booths went in. The burn booths didn't go in for years after that. They use accelerants to... You dig a big hole, and then stack the bodies in there. And then they burn them, and all their clothes and everything. And the families, people who were left, they sat back on the edges of this hole and just watched their relatives burn. I wish I could forget the time that I burned my wife. She was so thin after the plague had got through her. It was like I was carrying a skeleton. I wrapped her in sheets and carried her. Took her down to the pits where the burn was going to happen. Everyone was crying, and the smell of accelerants, gasoline, kerosene, everything was everywhere, and the smell was just sickening. There's people carrying children, babies. It was like this huge, wailing sea of people surrounding this pit of pink flesh. I didn't feel right about burning her, but with the plague, no one knew what was happening, so we had to do it. I'd lost just about everything. I'd sold almost everything off in order to try to survive. Wedding ring was gone, all the jewelry was gone, all the valuables were gone. The only thing that meant anything was my wife, and she was gone too. I wasn't even going to be able to keep anything from her. And I got an idea. I found a corner of the burn pile where they were stacking the bodies, where there was only children. I laid her on the pile. And I walked back and I watched that spot. There was only few children there. And they walked around and doused the pile. They got us all back because they had to burn it. The whole time, I got as far back, but I counted my paces and focused on the exact spot where she was. And they lit it on fire. Burning human flesh smells a lot like pork. You can always tell people who've been to the burn piles to just stopped eating a lot of meat. The smoke. It's ghastly. Children wailing, everyone screaming, and the heat, even at the distance we were at, was unbelievable. Searing heat. Most people turned and walked away, they couldn't bear it. I stayed. The smoke and the ashes falling, I stayed. Eventually the fire burned out. I don't remember how long I stayed there for, but it was a long time. There was only the crews that were going to start filling it in, but I made my way down to where I knew she was. There was nothing left, there was only the ashes, and by the time I got down into the pit, there was people who saw me and they started to yell. People do strange things in times of grief. So I did the same thing. I pretended that I was insane, I guess. The burn pit was fairly steep and they'd long since closed off the walkway down, so I slid down. The workers didn't want to go in after me. It took them a while to get people yelling and screaming. I didn't have much time. I went to the spot where my wife was and I started sifting through the ashes. I was looking for her teeth. My logic, because there's so many children, it'd be easy to tell her teeth apart from theirs. I found some. They're the only adult teeth there. I kept them in my pocket. I was so dirty by the time the work crews got to me, they dragged me away and I was screaming and crying. The ash on my fingers and hands, all over my clothes and my hair. We were all these gray vultures burying the dead. I didn't have time to sort through them then. I just grabbed all the little rocks. Teeth feel like little rocks. Every time I found them, I just shoved them in my pockets. They didn't know what was wrong with me. They just dragged me out of the pit. I felt bad about throwing away the children's teeth. They had a lot of life out of them and they were just gone. Snuffed out by the plague. But I found some of my wife's teeth. I made a little bag for him and I kept it with me. I have it right now. That's all that's left. That and the scarring nightmares I have. And then I have to wake up to this. It's easier just to stay in the rain than to come in from it for a little while and then be forced to go back out. It's lucky when I don't dream.